people home, I feel so safe tonight with all this police protection courtesy of G Unit.
Fat Joe is man. Pussy boy.
What happened, Daddy?
It's Fat Joe's record. I listened to it. It hurt me. I can't do it. I don't care about the money. I'm giving about the money.
50 Cent just snapped back after keeping quiet for what felt like forever. And now the streets are going crazy. He's finally speaking up about that wild claim that Fat Joe once tried to have him taken out. Yeah, you heard that right. And Joe's name is now getting dragged into a massive RICO lawsuit that could connect some seriously dark dots. This ain't just old rap beef anymore. This is sounding like a straight-up criminal plot that's got everyone's head spinning. The lawsuit is insane. It paints Fat Joe like he was running his crew more like a crime ring than a record label. There are even disturbing rumors floating around about PDF file-level behavior, and fans are losing it. But the craziest part? The one spilling all this dirt isn't some random. It's Joe's own hype man. The same guy who stood beside him on stage for over a decade is now flipping the table and exposing everything in brutal detail. So where does 50 Cent fit into this wild mess? You already know their history runs deep. Back in the G Unit versus Terror Squad days, they were enemies on sight. But now this new lawsuit is claiming Fat Joe allegedly tried to get rid of 50, not once, but multiple times. The only reason it didn't go down, according to the papers, is because 50's security was built like the Secret Service. Locked in, trained, and ready for anything. But here's where things twist up. 50 finally broke his silence and said it wasn't even that serious. Fans went wild online, trying to figure out why he downplayed something so serious. Is he protecting someone? Or does he know something the rest of us don't? We're diving deep into this RICO madness, 50's surprising reaction, and how it might all trace back to those early 2000s hip-hop wars. Because once you hear the names, dates, and accusations, it gets explosive real quick. Some people online are saying this situation is even worse than what Diddy's dealing with right now. The details in this lawsuit are next level. Fat Joe's former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon, is out here claiming that Joe didn't just want 50 to chill. He wanted him gone. Dixon says Joe allegedly ordered a hit on 50 Cent back when their beef was at its peak, and the plan was to make it look like a robbery gone wrong. According to the lawsuit, Fat Joe supposedly planned and attempted a premeditated murder of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson sometime between 2006 and 2007. The story goes that while Joe was chilling in Miami, he got a call saying 50 was spotted at a New York venue, and Joe allegedly didn't hesitate before sending the green light. But 50 wasn't alone. He was rolling deep with top-tier bodyguards, and the shooters backed off at the last minute. It gets crazier. The lawsuit even claims Joe told people to put a bag on 50's head and got heated when nothing happened. Dixon says Joe had been trying to get 50 Cent for a minute, tracking his every move using tour schedules and setting up potential ambushes. Dixon paints Joe as not just talking tough, but actually moving like he was running missions. When this lawsuit dropped online, everyone expected 50 to go nuclear, but he didn't. Instead, he kept it chill and went the opposite direction. He posted a message calling the lawsuit a stick-up, saying someone's just trying to get paid. Then he dropped a photo with Fat Joe and even played Young Buck's music in the background, trolling the internet while staying cool under pressure. In his post titled "Prices on My Head," 50 said, "These baseless accusations and claims are not credible. I'm sorry Joe has to endure the public scrutiny and damage to his reputation. This is a stick-up. I wrote this hook. I should have kept this one." That post alone sent the internet into chaos. Some said he was trolling. Others thought he was defending Fat Joe. One fan online said, 50's playing chess. If he moves like this, Joe will stay loyal because he knows it's sincere. Others think he's just stirring the pot for laughs. But the wild thing is, these accusations are coming from someone who lived inside Joe's circle for over a decade. Dixon saying Joe's whole operation looked more like a mob setup than a rap team. Then things take a seriously dark turn. Dixon's accusing Fat Joe of being involved in completely inappropriate behavior with underage girls, even paying for procedures for one who was allegedly 15 years old. The lawsuit's so disturbing it comes with a trigger warning, and it's 157 pages long, filled with shocking details that sound like a crime doc. Dixon says he was controlled, threatened, and kept in line like he was trapped inside Joe's system. He claims Joe made him perform under pressure, and that if he didn't obey, he'd be left behind in foreign countries with no way home. Here's where it goes off the rails. Dixon says he was pushed to perform over 4,000 acts to keep his spot in Joe's so-called enterprise. That's not loyalty, that's control. The most alarming claims in the lawsuit involve Joe's alleged relationships with young women who weren't legal adults at the time. The deeper you read, the more disturbing it gets. Dixon says he personally saw Fat Joe around girls aged 15 and 16. The lawsuit lists 3 Jane Does, each with stories that sound straight out of a nightmare. One of them, a 16-year-old from New York, allegedly got money, clothes, and had her phone paid for in exchange for spending time with Joe, something that, if true, crosses major lines. Then there's Jane Doe number 2, a young girl who wasn't even from the US. Dixon says she first met Joe overseas after a concert when she was 15, and from there, Joe allegedly flew her out multiple times to New York and Miami. Dixon says it wasn't for music or fan stuff, it looked more like hidden arrangements. The wildest part? Dixon claims Joe paid for cosmetic procedures because of her young age and appearance. Fans are shocked, saying if that's true, it's beyond forgiveness. And then there's Jane Doe number 3, a Latina girl Dixon says Joe met when she was 15, about to turn 16. He says Joe caught feelings hard, to the point he allegedly considered leaving his wife. The lawsuit says Joe paid her bills, flew her around, and even set her up in a Florida condo near his family home. Dixon even provided photos of her with high school friends to show how young she was. And if that evidence holds up, it could open serious legal trouble. Now everyone's asking, could Fat Joe actually face full-blown RICO charges? Some say it's only a matter of time, while others think this is just the beginning of a long legal war. But here's the truth. This is a civil RICO lawsuit, not a criminal one. That means it wasn't filed by the feds, but by a private person, still under the same law used to take down the mafia. When RICO gets mentioned, it means someone's being accused of running an entire operation, not just making a few bad choices. To win, Dixon has to prove there was an actual enterprise, a group working together, not just one person acting out. And that's exactly what he's claiming. He names Pete Pistol Pete Torres and Richard Rich Blair as key players in Joe's alleged operation. He says they weren't just around, they were handling the behind-the-scenes business that kept the whole thing moving. But to make it stick, Dixon needs to prove this was a pattern, not just a one-time thing. That means multiple illegal acts like intimidation, fraud, or extortion over time. And that's why RICO cases are dangerous. They paint a whole system, not just a single mistake. Even though it's civil, it hits just as hard. Because if Dixon can prove it, the government could step in next. And once feds see someone from the inside flipping and talking, they start listening real close. Hip-hop's no stranger to RICO. From YSL to Casanova and now Diddy, the law's eyes are on the rap game heavy right now. So if Dixon's story is true, that Fat Joe ran a full-blown operation for years, people want to know, why'd he stay quiet for so long? 50 Cent brushed it off, calling it a stick-up. But everyone's wondering, what made Dixon finally speak up now? He says it wasn't fame or revenge, it was fear. He claims the moment he tried to leave Joe's camp, the threats started flying. Dixon says Joe allegedly kept him close not out of love, but control, because he knew too much. For 16 straight years, Dixon was right there as Joe's hype man, traveling city to city, show to show. Now he's the one exposing everything he says went down. He's accusing Joe of running his operation through fear and pressure, like no one could move without Joe's approval. Fans are now torn. Is Dixon finally speaking his truth, or just striking back for being cut off? He says it wasn't about one fight, it was years of mistreatment. Dixon says he was underpaid, used, and thrown aside once he stopped following the program. Now he's ready to expose it all, and the drama's getting darker by the day. And just when it couldn't get wilder, Dixon dragged Roc Nation into it too. Yup, he claims Roc Nation helped Joe keep his alleged operation alive. In the court docs, he calls them a strategic enabler, saying they either knew or turned a blind eye while Joe ran his game. Dixon says he was a victim, forced into labor, threatened and tricked financially. He even claims he got pulled into trafficking setups he never agreed to. It's like he was trapped in a system built on money, power, and fear. Now people are side-eyeing the timing. Why drop this lawsuit now? Fat Joe's been low-key for a while, no major scandals. Then out of nowhere, just as the spotlight's on Diddy and others, boom, this lawsuit lands. So the question is Dixon chasing clout while the game's hot, or finally ready to tell the truth after all these years. The streets are divided. Some say it's all for a payout. Others think he's genuinely traumatized. And the wildest part? This might just be the first domino. The lawsuit is packed with claims that go way beyond music. It sounds like a whole crime series waiting to happen. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's out here calm as ever. He's calling it a setup and even showing sympathy for Fat Joe. Fans can't believe it. Why would 50 defend a man accused of trying to take him out? Something about this whole situation feels off. Like there's a bigger game happening behind the scenes. We've all seen how hard 50 went at Diddy. He's even working on a documentary about those cases. He's been clowning other big names too. But now that Fat Joe and Roc Nation are caught in this, 50's suddenly cool and quiet. Where's that same energy now? Some fans think 50's just moving smart, keeping quiet and watching everything unfold. Maybe he's not defending Joe. Maybe he's protecting himself. Because if Dixon's story holds any truth, and if Joe really tried to go after 50 back in the day, this could spark a brand new RICO war in hip-hop. Insiders are already whispering that if this case heats up, the feds might start digging even deeper. Maybe even looking at 50. Whether that's true or not, once that RICO word starts flying, nobody's safe. This could turn into one of the biggest legal storms rap's ever seen. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Is 50 staying quiet out of loyalty, or just making sure he stays out the line of fire? Either way, this saga's getting wilder by the day, and you already know. We'll keep you locked in with every twist as it breaks. If you've been following this madness, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss a single update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think 50's being loyal, or just staying low to stay safe? This story's far from over, and trust, the next chapter's gonna be even crazier.